Radiant team, ban. Dire team, ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team, ban. Dire team, ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
War Chief.
Team pick.
Slaughter.
Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Seconds remaining. Radiant team, ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team done. Radiant team ban. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Rubik.
Dire team pick.
Crystal Maiden.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
First, facing off against
You don't sound excited at all because this is
what do you mean?
this is do or die situation for TNC or Clutch Gamer. They win this best of 3, they get to go on and face Mineski for a shot at a spot at Kiev, and if they lose, they are out.
Yeah, it's a little bit
High stakes.
Sorry, I was trying to fix some production
Uh-huh.
things that are going on right now.
Don't try to fake hype.
What do you mean trying to fake hype? I'm not trying to fake hype. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. And it looks like I have already fixed it all out. So we're good to go. But yeah, TNC Pro Team, they have not looked good the first day. They looked a lot better the second day. And then the third day, they put on a great showing against Faceless. We're almost able to take them down, but it didn't quite end up working out into their favor. Clutch Gamers, on the other hand, they had a great first day, kind of a middle of the road second day. They still did end up finishing top of the group, but then they ended up looking quite rough against Mineski. Do you think that was like a play style thing for them and the reason they ended up kind of getting hemmed in, or do you believe that it was more just that this is a team that is going to struggle to deal with TNC Pro Team?
I think without knowing the teams personally, it's really hard to say because a lot of the panels are saying, you know, are they doing well because it's a best of 1 format? Or are they doing well because they're relatively unknown and people aren't scouting for them, like the way that they're preparing for TNC or Mineski teams are, you know that are going to do well. So I think it's probably a mixture of all of that. My kind of big takeaway yesterday is that Clutch Gamers did not look like the Clutch Gamers of day 1 and day 2. I think their tried and true like teamwork just didn't come through. Like they lost a lot of team fight against Mineski, which honestly, if they executed the way that they did in day 1, day 2, they would have won those games.
Right.
So to me, Clutch Gamer had 24 hours to gather themselves, look at each other in their face, and be like, "Are we gamers? We're gamers. Let's go."
Are we gamers or are we Clutch Gamers? Let's make it happen, boys. Yeah, I can understand that. That's pretty cool. TNC Pro Team, they do manage to steal away the Darkseer, but Clutch Gamers, with the first pick overall, they decided to take the Centaur War and are now with their last pick. We're going to have something to round this out. Safe lane carry, most likely. I really like the Vengeful Spirit Band. I feel like that would have been quite nice in this lineup.
Yeah, so I think the range core is what looks like it's what we're leaning towards too, because Slaughter Darkseer is going to pressure melee cores very heavily. You already have a very weak laner in the form of Rubik, and we're going to go with the Gyro. We've seen Black play a ton. Do you honestly think Gyro is worth all the hype, or do you think everyone's just picking a bad carry because Faceless is picking it?
I think that if you fit it within the context of a nice draft, then it looks really well. Like, you look at this lineup. All right, let's say that somebody happens to dive OD a little bit too deep in a mid lane situation. You get a Gyrocopter TPing in level 6. Suddenly you have a big team fight on your hands. Likewise, you have something like people diving the Centaur Warrunner, or rather diving the Gyro. Centaur Warrunner has Stampede to get away. It feels like these heroes from Clutch Gamers cover each other well and have different ways to either turn around a fight through big team fight ultis, or save with OD, or save with Stampede. I like their lineup.
Yeah, that's definitely true. They're not really particularly weak at any stage of the game. If I have to make one gripe about this particular draft, it's the fact that they don't take buildings that efficiently.
Right.
I don't think OD or Gyro are excellent pushers, but apart from that, I think they're well-rounded. And now TNC is going to end up with one of their... Surge Iron Shell TA is a scary thing, man.
No, absolutely. And I think that you could kind of level some of the same accusations at TNC Pro Team. Like Slardar, he's going to be able to kill off heroes pretty quickly. TA can kill heroes pretty quickly. Weaver, like those, TA and Weaver are probably the two best building hitters. And it's not like that's what they're known for necessarily either. Like Weaver, maybe known more for the pushing and being able to fashion, but story depending upon how this ends up looking. But we are getting ready to go into this, our game number 1 in the lower bracket. And who are you feeling like is going to take it after this? After the look at the draft,
based on the draft, I think TNC has the stronger draft, and I think a draft that fits their playstyle more. From what I've seen yesterday and a couple of days before, TNC is a team that likes to take the aggression. They're not similar to Faceless where they take it slow, they beat you late game. No, TNC, they push the button whenever they can. Look at their heroes. They have the heroes that could either take towers, like you mentioned, or Roshan. Let's not forget, you can put that CA trap inside it. Yeah. So I think they're just well favored in their playstyle and more importantly in their lineup against Clutch Gamers.
Okay. Well, we'll see if TNC are going to be able to live up to all the hype you're bringing on them. I'm excited to see it. Interesting little movement here. We saw the Darkseer go out with no items, smoked, just scouting to see if he can find a ward. And meanwhile, there was one ward that was placed mid lane. A little bit of a sneaky spot as well, right over there by the little flag. Depending on the angle, I might even end up seeing that one. And another ward placed over here by the Radiant team.
Actually, that dire ward didn't see too much of. I mean, it peaks a little bit more over the cliff.
Yeah.
But it's honestly not a really good ward. It's not good.
I guess just wanting to ensure that Cuckoo has an okay time, doesn't get...
It's more when they were placing it, they didn't want to like walk across the river. Maybe they were expecting their smoke to break, that kind of stuff. It doesn't seem much, but the risk of placing that ward is also very low.
Okay. Now, Gyrocopter, this is the build that I think we've been seeing more often than not. The tangos, and then just fill up your inventory with ironwood branches to get some more value out of that. So already 8 tangos on the gyro, and then is going to be able to continue to survive and spam heals against the Darkseer. This feels like it makes a lot of sense. How do you feel like it matches up here, a Darkseer against a Rubik and a gyro lane?
Yeah, I think it's going to be fine for Clutch Gamers. If TNC wanted to push the button a little bit more, they could have put the Slaughter there as well, but instead I think they're going to make sure that their safe lane is, mid lane rather, is going to be okay.
You mentioned that was kind of a safe ward, but unfortunately it already gets taken out already by Armel, so they're going to get one of the D wards, and it does not look like TNC are going to find a D ward in return. So a little bit unfortunate there. Some possibility of good luck or scouting ends up coming to the tune of Clutch Gamers getting that in the mid.
Yep. We're going to see Poop back here. Actually, now that I think about it, that ward on the ramp is terrible. Here's the reason, right?
Okay.
You have a TA, they have an Ogre.
Yeah.
Ogre is going to come in to ignite you. He's expecting you to tick melt to dodge the ignite. So to one-up that, he's going to bring sentries, and he's going to put it in the mid-range, right? That's the reason why they dewarded it. Not because they scouted it, because they were preparing to ignite him. And they just so happened to put the Observer there. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, that definitely did. That makes a lot of sense. And
then that ward on the ramp is just like 300G on the other side. It's not good.
Rough. And you can see also Ogre continuing to go in there and with the Orb of Venom as well as the Ignite just constantly spam out the harassment against Cuckoo. Not a great lane. We haven't talked a whole lot about what was going on up in the top side, and Hana took a good bit of harassment from the Weaver as well as Rior playing on this Crystal Maiden. Needs to be careful, although you don't have the CM Aura yet, so not going to be able to spam that as effectively until he gets that level 2.
I'm going to make sure that this pull does not happen. Honestly, like, he's got boots. Honestly, he would not die here. And I don't think CM harasses. Like, look at him. Just running away. There's no way that a CM by himself could actually drive away Centaur. I think even with the Weaver coming in, unless the Weaver is like 4 or 5,
right?
I think the Centaur should be fine.
Okay. Keep our eyes on that one. See if
Tim's comes in with haste stream, that's a different story.
Nice rapping. I do believe that they scouted him though, and yeah, he's just going in for the pickup of the bounty rune along the way. Runs into Lombax, the Ogre, and is going to go for a wraparound. Isn't going to be able to make anything happen here against Armel. He's been having a good time so far for himself. 13 and 10 in comparison to the 5 and 3, and Cuckoo very far forward is going to be slowed by this if they can get into range for an Astral in just a couple of seconds. Oh, it was a good stun there onto Armel, but he still might be in a little bit of trouble. They're thinking about going for an imprisonment, but they don't decide to go for it.
Cuckoo really hanging around with low HP. He's trying his best to play as aggressive as he possibly can because he understands that he's really losing the lane that he shouldn't be losing. Mostly thanks to the fact that the ogre is in the lane.
I got boots that are now on him as well, and decides to bring that out over any other region. So just playing around this Fairy Fire and Refraction to the best of his abilities.
Oh, he's got a Shrine to work with, and he'll pop it right now. But look at the CS differential here. He's got 8 CS to 16 and 11 denies. This is not looking great here for the TA, who normally you pick her last to dominate the mid lane, and she's getting wrecked.
Yeah, I think that also it has to do with the Gyrocopter a little bit later on, a hero that's traditionally really hard to stay alive through that high physical damage. As Armel is just going to get punched in the face a few more times by Tims. But I think that like in the mid game probably there's a lot of potential there for her to just blow up the Gyro if she even gets like middle lane farm. I don't know.
I could see that happening, but I also could see Clutch Gamer getting double, triple, 4 staffs.
Yeah.
And suddenly your job as a hero assassination kind of play is not going to be as effective.
Well, Darkseer in the meantime goes in, steals away one of the bounty runes.
Gets lifted towards back and he's going to eat a Who Stomp.
Oh no.
Fable's going to take the kill. So Slaughter trying to go for the rune steal, which I think he got, but then Fly Solo made a TP to the shrine and then punished him very heavily.
Alright, well, first blood goes to the favor of Clutch Gamers, and I don't know, I feel like they'd be really happy in this laning stage so far. Like, your off lane isn't getting a lot as far as the Centaur is concerned, but he is at least getting levels, and your mid is just completely dominating at this point.
Yeah. I think a large part of that is the TA not taking to dodge these Ignite. Yes, there was the Sentry earlier, but Sentry obviously only lasts 3 minutes, so I feel like Cuckoo could have at least gotten a second point or a first point into mail here.
They're going to be able to go for another imprisonment there, another deny. I mean, it's not as if it's all completely terrible for her. She's got boots, she's got herself a bottle now as well, and is starting to catch up in CS, but that early levels and the fact that she's almost a full level and a half behind where the OD is, that's where it really starts to feel. Oh, now she's caught back up a little bit.
It's not terrible in the sense that she's not dying, but she's not really fulfilling her role in the lane, right? She's not dominating, and sometimes as a TA, you have kill potential to the other mid. You have 0 kill potential against the OD because she could always Astro you when you're going on him. So he's kind of just sitting in lane and losing, and the OD of these days always go for Hannah Midas, so he's gonna shoot further and further ahead.
Yeah.
And Cuckoo, I mean, he's gonna go either Blink or Deso, so it's not exactly catch up items in that sense. So I don't know what TA is gonna do, but this is Cuckoo. We saw him yesterday holding the mid lane 20 minutes straight by himself. Yeah, so we know he's a gamer.
If you didn't catch that, game number 1 was it, I believe, of the Faceless versus TNC match was just an absolute treat to watch. But movement in now towards the mid lane. They want to go into Armel. Hesitated for a second, but they will not be able to punish any further. And they could have even gone for rotation. They're bringing the Darkseer into that one. He wanted to get involved too.
Oh, that's unfortunate. And now Rubik gets to take the haste rune, take the bounty rune, runs around. Now Darkseer suddenly might be in a little bit of trouble.
They could think about going. It's too hard with all the stuff that they've got in the area. So yeah, Fly Solo just gonna punch him. All right, no, they're gonna use the call down, so they pull him back in. Rocket Barrage as well, Fable to boot, and they get the kill. All right, they did it.
That was actually like
perfectly executed.
Yeah. Like if he just surged a tiny bit faster or was not in the center of that call down, I think he would have made it out.
And you think about the whole dynamic of that movement. He goes in, steals the haste rune from the Darkseer, steals the bounty rune from the Darkseer. Cuckoo goes to check, and then he goes in and finds the kill.
Moonbag is going to stun the Slaughter, and he's taking the tower shot. Slaughter took a double edge to the face as well. Clutch Gamers, 3-0. All right.
Off to a hot start. Very well played. So, yeah, right now, I don't think that there's a whole lot more that they could be wanting. It's almost a 2,000 gold lead, 1,500 experience. Clutch Gamers looking quite good. And this is, again, I think that they've proven themselves throughout these qualifiers to be one of the top teams in Southeast Asia, clearly to be in the top 4.
Oh, for sure.
But probably going into this, if this is some people's first look at Southeast Asia, they'd be surprised that TNC are behind at this early stage in the game.
Yeah, I mean, being ahead obviously is a very good advantage to have, but a lot of these games that we've seen in C is not really decided just from the laning stage. In fact, it's who makes the better mid-game and late-game decisions, and that's how Clutch Gamer lost 2 of their games yesterday against Mineski. They just got outplayed in the late game, so we'll see if TNC could, make the same plays that happened that beat Clutch yesterday, or will Clutch actually clutch it up in the late game.
There you go. I kind of like this play as well. Tim's playing on the Slardar, who's traditionally a little bit tough to farm on, and they stuck the Ion Shell on him so that way he could get a little bit more gold more quickly. Now you see Abang as well, Boldglass moving in, trying to take down Cuckoo here. They get the Fire Blast, but the Shrine came off, and now they need to run. Slowed up by the TA Trap. They're going to continue the chase.
More TA Traps.
And it does look like they are going to be able to... Now Stampede comes out.
Okay. All right. 2-man rotation, drew 2 TPs, and got a Stampede out of it. Not too bad, but he goes right back to farming. I gotta say, with that Ancient stack, he's recovering quite admirably, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what he needs to do on this hero, but Hana in the top lane, he's getting gone after and weren't quite able to find there the Fire Blast to set up a kill. But in the meantime, Armel just mid, pushing out the lane. They're gonna have to deal with this. Rior is gonna sit here and soak up experience. And Sam H, are they... How did that creep wave get all the way over there? He's cutting the creep wave and into the medium camp as well?
I think he just pulled it
Yeah.
into the camp so he could farm, a camp in a lane at once. This is something that you see from Darkstairs when they feel absolutely safe. Which he kind of was, because, everyone was up top.
Right. Well, this is a nice movement in here as well, trying to find Abang in the bottom lane. It's still going to be tough, you got the infused raindrops here as well as the headdress. Should be relatively safe.
Yeah. The problem that TNC is experiencing right now is because TA didn't do well in her laning phase, now look at the map, like who actually could kill people. A CM roaming around ain't gonna do jack. Slardar without Blink's not gonna do much. And Darkster honestly is not the most aggressive offlaner, right? So they really need that TA to...
Oh my god, Tim's. Oh no, Hana! What are you doing?
I'm surprised. Oh, Sprint wasn't...
He had 1 second left, yeah. But that being said, he saw that there was nobody in the area. He could have caught up to him with Sprint.
That was a high risk, low reward kind of play.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Armel is here too. They're going in.
They got Sakuchi on the Rubik. They're going to try to lift him up. Okay, Tower giving him a little surge out, but I don't know if you're making out of there. No teleport supports coming in. Oh, they're coming in now.
Call down. They're on to several. Abang needs to be careful. Raven is here as well. And Rior. Yeah, Rubik is kind of in no man's land. Fly Solo is going to have to play this one real well. He's trying to go for Sam H. Trying to find a kill, maybe? Like no, not quite there. The vacuum a little bit off the mark. Woo! But he finds the kill. Fly Solo just all over him. Does have Sakuchi back up in one, but there's the Frostbite and the CM ulti. But he's still getting out. Fly Solo. No TP, though. And there is maybe Raven. Oh, my God. Okay. That is space created if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, allow his entire team to run away. Gets a core kill by himself. Solo experience, solo gold, and made them drop so many more spells just to get that kill. We've been seeing a ton of excellent Rubik plays. Yesterday's Rubik from Rio was amazing, but right now, Fly Solo making a strong contention that he's an excellent Rubik player as well.
Absolutely. That's what you want to see. It's the playoffs, baby. And you got Hana almost there with his Blink Dagger, 50 gold away. Bottom lane is where we're going to see Fly Solo again, just stealing Sakuchi. It's such a great game for or such a great hero to be playing against with Rubik.
Well, I think a lot of it is also Raven needs to be a little bit more conscious of what spell he currently has. You see a lot of experienced Weaver players, using Swarm immediately after if they see the Rubik in the vicinity.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying Raven is not an experienced Weaver, but maybe he has his mind elsewhere, and he's allowing Rubik to get this, insanely mobile spell for free.
Well, they're set up now on this bottom lane and looking for Abang. No amp damages there yet for Slardar, and I think they realize they can't make this work. They have to back out. Lane is pushing, and like you said, it's just what are they going to do at this point in the game? They don't have any great way to find initiation.
Now they do. Now they got the TA. I mean, it's not about the initiation, but rather they don't have the damage to back it up, right? Because you have a Crystal Maiden that's maxing aura. You got a Slardar that have, 3 points in the crush. It's just not enough damage. Now the Blink kind of changes all of that, right? You get a Surge in, you get a Crush, and Cuckoo's going to come in and with Maelstrikes. That should be enough.
I mean, but can you, like, you have Stampede, right? Don't you just run away if you're clutch gamers?
Well, Stampede don't work if you're Slithering, Crush, and Frostbitten and all that jazz.
But he doesn't have a... Alright, maybe it's fine. Okay, I'm with you. They gotta find the angle, though.
I mean, I agree with you. They're not going to win a team fight with the Blink, but they're definitely going to be getting more picks than they have, right? Currently, they're 4-1. They have gotten 1 kill.
Yeah, it's been rough. There's no doubt about that. And pushing in this bottom lane. You have call down still. Hana, Blink Dagger is in his inventory, ready to go. They're set up for a big fight. OD on the other side of the map.
I honestly don't think this is the fight that TNC could take. And now Solo gets a lift here. Crystal made in a lot of trouble. Rior, okay, runs away, but will go down regardless. Now they're going to focus on the slaughter on the backline. Stampede will be used defensively. They got the 2 quick kill, and they're looking to escape.
Yeah, and there's 6-1 now. TNC... They have to get Slaughter or something. Like, he's sitting there halfway to Blink Dagger, and I mean, that's a fight where they get 2 kills without the OD even being there. He's just farming away like a champ.
Yeah. To be fair, though, that wasn't a good fair fight.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely
for
not.
TNC. Like, Crystal Maiden was caught dewarding, right? That's kind of like a suicidal move, essentially.
Oh, Raven, maybe in some trouble. Are they going to find him? There's a movement forward. Fly Solo is there. Blink. Oh, nice time lapse out. Raven, but the Fly Solo is on him. Is there going to be a lift in time? He does? Doesn't want to go for it. The rest of seems too far away. And Gyrocopter might be in trouble now. There's the call down. Turn it back around. Trying to scare him off. Rior almost dies to that. And there aren't TPs to get here, I don't believe. So Abeng in trouble. He's going to have to TP on himself, but they're already there. The CM ulti as well as Cuckoo jumping on top of him. Yeah, Abeng maybe just a little bit too big for his britches.
Yep. Good catch there for TNC. That was a very important kill to slow down the Gyrocopter, but Clutch Gamer is not missing a beat. TA is going to pour mid. Can they make a play here? Blink, Hell Strike, Hana will hoops on for himself, and now Armel coming in. He can have ult, and he will ult. There's that kill.
Down on top of Tim's. Hard thing to deal with, and Cuckoo out of mana now. They're going to shrine up. Same mage, get inside that. Come on, buddy. Go get your regen. What? All right. That's fine.
Cuckoo, gonna find a kill.
All right.
And you can see as soon as the Blink Dagger gets picked up, they could apply Cuckoo's massive damage where he needs to go, and he's being super active. And I think this is the way that you come back in the game. I don't think you farm against OD Midas and expect to do fine. You gotta kill.
So, next up on the docket, we have already seen the Blink Dagger on the Centaur. I'm kind of curious, OD, after going for the Midas, he's now going back for the Dragon Lance. Not a great surprise there. Looks like Rubik has Blink queued up as well. Is there anything that you feel like TNC, like, can they still keep on making these kills happen before the Blink Dagger on Tim's?
They have to, because it's not just about the Dragon Lance on Armel. He's upgrading it into a Hurricane Pike. Same thing, I believe, with Gyrocopter. It would surprise me if he doesn't upgrade to a Hurricane Pike as well. Once both of these pikes come out, TA's kill opportunity is gonna be diminishes quite rapidly. So they need to get as many kills as they can now, and take advantage of the fact that they are currently, you could do a lot of things. In terms of finding the openings, that's kind of a different story.
It sort of, again, is why this Centaur Stampede is just so good against this lineup. And it's kind of interesting because they picked it wasn't in like the first pick necessarily. I like this play though, moving into Roshan. Cuckoo should be able to secure this, but these Clutch gamers realize it.
Well, they might realize it, but it's going down pretty fast. Fly Solo goes left to perhaps check. No, I don't think they even realize it at all. Roche, I think, will just go to Cuckoo.
Yeah. And that's something that, is hugely important in the context of this game. Like, right now, Ogre is going to be walking over in that area, realizes that there's some heroes in there, and Cuckoo has the Aegis now.
And this is one of the reasons why I personally favor... Oh, hold that thought here. Fly Solo
Tim's?
Looking for the snipe here against Tim's.
He's going to die.
He's going to deny. No, did not get him.
All right. Well, they don't get the deny. They find something from it, but...
Look at Tim's. He's got stick, boots, and he's just desperately trying to save to that Blink.
Yeah, he's been poor. It's a rough life right now for that Slardar. I kind of was wondering if maybe they just stuck him in the jungle a little bit longer, or invested into an Iron Talon, if maybe at this point he would have had it, but it felt like they needed him to be active, certainly, and well, now they're kind of stuck between a rock and hard place.
But a move like that, what we saw the Roche sneak, is kind of the reason why I originally favored the TNC draft when you were asking me at the beginning of the game, like, who's going to take it? Because I feel like TNC is going to have a lot more opportunities to take objectives, whether it be towers or Roche. And I think the game was a bit more even. I think you could see the TNC draft shine a little bit more. But for now, they're trying their best to delay the game, farm up, and finally the Blink Dagger comes out from Tims. But like clockwork, the Pike also comes out, so I think Clutch Gamer is kind of ready for that.
Yeah. Well, they're moving in mid. They need to be careful. There's so many heroes in the area right now, and well, the Blink Dagger's actually not on Tims yet. He hasn't brought it out, and he's gonna die. Maybe, yeah. He does go down. His Blink Dagger was on the courier coming out to them.
Bottom lane here, Newbee drops a rocket on Kuku's face. I think it's time to disengage here for Dire side, but no, they find one in jungle, fly solo, getting caught by Reor's freezing field again.
Now they're walking uphill into this. They got to be careful. Fire blast onto Sam H, but Kuku, he's on top of Armel, ends up going for that imprisonment. Hierarchy fight to the low ground, and the Stampede is going to mean that gyro gets out, and well, time lapse away from Raven. They don't lose anymore, it looks like.
Oh, they're going to get a tower on the bottom as well. That Desolator doing a ton of work. Kuku not going to be able to find anything else. Which, by the way, this is one of the best combo in terms of hero picks that TNC has played quite a bit. The Darkseer plus the Slardar, but what they normally get out of Tims is, you know, like, I don't know, a 15-minute blink and he's getting 4 or 5 kills by this point in the game. But Tims is having a rare off game, but this is not the time to be making mistakes.
Yeah. I think he's been more focused on trying to get the vision around the map. You can see that ward there set up the kill on the Rubik. There's been a couple of wards that were placed like up on this high ground here, and it's something that this team needs, but they also need some other form of initiation because right now they don't really have it.
Has he been even buying ward?
He's been placing them at the very least.
I think it's really just to see him. Yeah. Okay, he's got eyes on Hannah right now, but nobody's nearby. Is he really going to blink crush this for creep? No, he's going to amp it around. Okay.
And again, that vision, whenever he can possibly get it.
Yep.
CM looks like she's going into a Hand of Midas, so maybe emblematic of the way that TNC think this game is going to go, that they're not going to be able to finish it off quickly, and she needs to get into some more items later on in the game.
I think it's always good for heroes like CM to, if you're already warding and if you have the extra gold, go for the Midas, because getting your levels is actually quite important, quite underestimated what your hero can do once you get that second or even third point into freezing field.
So Rubik is only, what is that going to be, about 700 gold away from finishing off his Blink Dagger. He stays alive through a couple more of these fights, and with the Sakuchi constantly being stolen, there's a good chance of it. It's going to be a factor to be considered in these fights.
Sure. I mean, once you talk about Axe in the long term, you're guaranteed to steal freezing field, right? From CM, so there's a lot of good stuff that you can do.
Lane, they're on top of the Ogre. He's gone.
Yep.
That's about the best pick that you could have hoped for, at least, on the side of Clutch Gamers. But you'd love to not lose anybody, obviously.
I think it's a great pick. I mean, it's not about who you pick. Obviously, Ogre, it's a fine hero to get rid of. It's more of, look at the map right now that is being occupied by TNC. They're the one that's dictating the pace of the game. If you look at all the other metrics, Clutch Gamer is leading in kills. They're leading in net worth. Like, TNC should not be able to make this kind of aggressive play that they're making, but because they have the double blink, they are taking advantage of that. The fact that they're currently just a bit stronger. And this is a hallmark of a really good team. You know, they understand the ebb and flow of the strength of the two teams, and they're taking advantage of it.
I think it also harkens back to that Aegis, that they Clutch Gamers are not willing to fight into this one right now, so I'm kind of wondering like when that next little turn of power spike is going to happen. Again, Rubik getting closer to that blink, that's going to be a big one. BKBs are soon to come out on the side of Clutch Gamers. We've got one that's queued up for the gyrocopter, already has a little bit over halfway to it, and OD is building towards his as well. So that might be the moment that they're waiting for before they actually try and take another fight.
That and the Centaur Axe.
Yeah.
I think that once the 3 cores get their 3 major items, that's when really I think Clutch Gamer will probably seize control of the map again. So the timing window of TNC is closing rapidly. I don't know whether those 3 items would come out at the time of Roche. I think for them, for Clutch Gamers, if they could get those 3 items and take a fight at Roche and secure the next Aegis, that would be huge for Clutch Gamers.
Absolutely. Right now, TNC continuing to look for any pickoffs they can find, but you can see that Slardar, he's queuing up for a Midas as well. So I think a choice has consciously been made right now by TNC. We can't end the game right now, but let's try and stall it out for a while. Let's try and get ourselves into that next tier of items and, get those levels like you were mentioning.
Yeah, it's almost conceding once the BKBs and the Axe comes out, they're conceding that phase of the game, and they're trying to go, into the next phase, like the later portion of the game, which means TNC is gonna have to do a lot of ratting, a lot of dodging.
Yeah. And who better to do that with than Weaver? That's definitely a hero that's very much built for being elusive and just moving around the map. And it's also pretty emblematic of what we've seen in these qualifiers as a whole. We've been seeing the games go later and later and later. And now a movement out by Clutch Gamers does look to be at least somewhat aware of it, TNC. And yeah, they're not going to get caught out here most likely.
Yep. And this is the beauty of the TA trap, right? You can put that in Roche. You're never really afraid of them smoking like that and then going straight into the pit and taking you by surprise. For sure, they know that they're not in the Roche on pit right now. Reor, gonna pour it out.
Lift. Oh, they got him. What?
Second.
VAC indeed. Reor going down. All right.
What's the worst part in that?
What?
Midas coming off cooldown, can't use it. Feels bad.
True enough. Maybe that's why he was moving out Kalisha that way. Yeah, that's nuts though. I totally didn't expect it. I think that it was just they might have still been smoked at that point. I didn't have my
no, they weren't.
Server. They weren't anymore.
Yeah, he just checked there and he had the reaction rate to get that.
That's crazy. Well,
Tower is under
Creep Wave moving in now. Gonna start assaulting the tier 2 tower in this bottom lane.
But look at TA.
Yeah, just like clockwork. Cuckoo heading mid, pressure in this one now. You got Weaver along the top lane doing much the same. And there's a TP back to see if they can control up Cuckoo here. They've got him. He is gonna have refraction still up after this though, so there's the blink out. There you go. Yeah, so Cuckoo, he's fine.
And now in the bottom side wall has been dropped right now. Tim's in a lot of trouble, but here comes Cuckoo porting in. Fly solo just get two-shotted. A Bing on the right side. He's isolated by himself. He does have the BKB, not activating it just yet. There's a Fire Blast on Cuckoo and the Mail Strike doing so much work. I'm not sure whether BKB is really going to protect him. The Surge moving forward. There's a Rocket on top of Cuckoo. Not going to be enough to save him. Meanwhile, the hammer gets dropped. Boomback on the run as well. Crystal Maiden comes in. Is Crystal Maiden going to pop her out? No, already on cooldown. Raven going for Boomback as well. The trap gets activated. Raven cleans up a couple of kills. I gotta say, all in all, a big retreat for TNC. Yes, they did lose the TA, but they picked up the gyro. I guess the only thing going there for Clutch Gamer is that they didn't use those BKBs.
Yeah, they held on to them, and
yep.
I think also they're probably not going to be able to translate any objectives off the back of this, which is a pretty decent part of it. But yeah, I think it's a little bit in the favor of TNC there. And you've got the Ags now done for Centaur. The thing about that kind of blows my mind is that they took that fight, like you said, without BKBs and without Centaur Ags. So the next fight, it's probably not going to look as close. And that was also with OD not in the engagement.
Well, at least not in the start, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was actually a very poor communication from Clutch Gamer, because what happened was OD ported back to trying to catch a TA, right?
Yeah.
And then I think 2 of his teammates also ported back to make that move. And then as soon as that happened, TNC says, okay, you still have 2 heroes in front of our tier 2 bottom tower, so let's go on you. So I think if OD is going to try to make that move, the rest of the team has to back away very quickly away from the bottom tier 2. But instead, half the team stayed, half the team went away. And that was just a classic case of retreating too slowly and the enemy team punishing you for it.
And you've also got this Darkseer now with the blink mechanism, so you can find those engagements much more effectively. Nice little TP out of here for the Centaur. They're going to move back. TNC is still taking control of their jungle quite heavily, and I'm waiting to see the reveal of the movement around the map, probably just around this next Roche pit fight, which is a relatively long respawn time. And I think that, at least for now, with like Fly Solo heading out here, placing down a couple of deep wards, this is going to favor Clutch Gamers quite heavily.
Well, earlier I did say that TNC might look a little bit weaker as the Radiant BKB comes out, but TNC also is working with double BKB of their own, right? Reaver's got one, TA's got one. That BKB is going to cut down a lot of Gyro's magic damage output at the very least, as well as all the orb hits on the OD.
to see how this plays out. Again, pushing out the waves. You do have the smoke movement now into the Radiant side of the map.
They don't have Slaughter with that smoke, though. I think they really need that point-blank initiation, especially when you're combining it with the Darkseid.
Oh, Armel, he's up there on the high ground. I feel like they have an idea that this is going on right now. This ward might have scouted something out, or we'll have to see. It almost feels like they're baiting out Abeng right here. They're going to jump forward. There's the crush. Astral immediately. BKB has been popped, though. Now Armel 4 steps to the high ground. The CM ulti is doing nothing. They're just going to be able to stamp away, and if they want to, they could go for a counterplay pretty soon. They have Freezing Field, and that was the BKB down for Cuckoo.
What a great bait by Clutch Gamer. This is exactly how TNC lost the bait, by the way. They bought these 10-second BKBs, they used it, and they didn't get anything. In fact, they lost fights with those 10-second BKB.
They need to go in right now, though. Like, you have to go in and contest this.
Well,
you have
BKB
Freezing Field,
is
you have
down.
everything.
BKB is down for Cuckoo, but no, it's a little bit too late, and now Boomback decides to retreat. It was a good bait for the BKBs, but yeah, you know, the quick moves from TNC just punished Clutch Gamer.
I think that this harkens back to something that we sort of alluded to, is that you've got TNC that has the LAN experience playing against a bunch of top-tier teams in the world. They know when they need to make these moves. And by all accounts, that was like a terrible time to go into Roshan, but Clutch Gamers, they just don't happen to show up for that one, and then they end up taking it. Like, if you have Freezing Field stolen on Rubik, you have cooldown still, you had Stampede off or on cooldown, but that was like the only really bad part of it. I don't know.
The surprising thing is that TNC wasn't smoking into the Roshan, right? They were completely seen by this ward the whole time. So I don't know what Clutch Gamer was.
I guess they just underestimated how quickly, because they were moving into that area, but maybe they're just worried.
It is a TA Deso with Weaver, with amplified damage. Like, that thing is dead as soon as they go in.
All right. Maybe they're seeing something that we're not seeing, but certainly looked like there's a possibility. BKB is there for Weaver. He's going back into the Mjolnir now.
Not on the mid lane.
Are they going to be able to take him down?
Look at that damage, man.
He's got Stampede still.
I mean, if you get a Stampede out like this, BKB, forced to be popped by Raven. And that's a 10-second one.
I mean, I'll take that for a Stampede cooldown every day.
Sure.
So, still very much an even game at this point, but TNC, after getting Roshan and now going to have the Aegis again on TA there, it sort of puts them in the driver's seat like we saw previously throughout the whole course of the next, duration of this Aegis.
With that, they're going to take a tier 2. Now, I'm not sure if Aegis is going to be enough to allow TNC to go up the high ground, at least in a 5v5 situation, so I guess really the next step for CNC is to look for a pick. Doesn't matter who, just anybody. So that allows them to hit the tier 3 a little bit.
Yeah. I like the pick that Rior is going back for as well. The Hand of Midas now into the BKB for him after going for that Glimmer Cape as well. So a lot of value coming out of this Crystal Maiden, who's sitting at the top of the pack of the supports.
He's also the one that's buying all the wards, man.
What a guy. What a Rior. Rior's been playing out of his mind this whole qualifiers. I mean, we'll have a chance to talk more about how this team has been playing, but to me, he's been like the standout player on the TNC team. Sam H has had some good games as well.
Yeah, and rather Tim is normally their big support playmaker, has been looking rather soft.
Yeah.
Remember those like IO games, which he had big saves, but for the most part, just really getting hammered. And this game, he started the game at 0-6 on the Slaughter, so I don't know. Tim's need to step it up, man.
Called out by Lumi. Now we know.
It's tough love, man. Normally, he's 7-0 as a support, so I know he could do better.
Yeah. All right. Freezing Field going to wear off soon for Rubik as well. There's no great chance to use it, I would imagine. TNC going to move around the map, try and pressure out this lane. It doesn't really feel like they're in any hurry to get stuff done. With the double Midases on this team. Wait, did Slaughter not go back for a Midas? No, he switched out for a 4-step. Okay, so they only have one Midas on CM. Maybe I don't like that as much then. I feel like they need to get something done with the Aegis.
And looks like we're trying to make it close. Ooh. Quick reaction.
Second one as well.
Got him!
Armel chase. They got the Stampede though. Turns to fight. Just going to be able to take down Tim's there. He ends up falling. Trying to turn onto Cuckoo maybe as well. He's going to self-astral.
Team is coming in right now. Armel, and looks like he's going to be fine. In fact, they're going to go on Cuckoo. Cuckoo has the BKB active. He's really going for the kill, but the Astro baits him again. That's Aegis. Everybody on the dire side is piling in. Raven leading the way with the bugs. Everyone blinks out, and oh, the Mel Strike missing. He went for a creep. Bing is running away. Boomback perhaps will throw his life for his team. Boomback taking a ton of damage, but walking away as well. The Rockets will slow their retreat. Here comes Rior from the side. Will the big back Crystal Maiden allow them to... Oh, Vacuum Nova, pretty good. Bing pops the PKB, trying to allow his team to further run away. Boomback dropping low. Here comes the Milk Strike, and he needs to Astro these hits. The red Deso hits going in. Armel, can he pop the shrine? No, he dies right next to the shrine. Ana trying to run away. The Husa will hit on the Darkseer. Glimmer Cape keeping his damage okay right now, but look at the chase. Bing then pops the shrine to keep himself alive. Crystal Maiden freezing field gets dropped. They go in for more and more. Can they actually get the kill? The buyback coming out from Armel. BKB coming from Cuckoo once again here. And now Astro into a Husam Vacuum, not allowing the Raven to run away, and now it's the retreat time for TNC. What just happened in that teamfight? Teamfight recap, please.
They went far too deep. I think that it's still a great win right there for TNC, but
yeah.
I don't know what the hell, because that doesn't fully encapsulate what happened at the beginning of the fight either. They're able to burn through the Aegis of the Cuckoo as well. But that was nuts. I think Armel played that fight so perfectly. There were so many instances where he could have gone down. You saw the blink out, able to get the self-astral, fogging the TA, and then TA going for the chase and just the immediate meld strike. Maybe didn't realize that there was going to be a creep wave there possibly, which is why it ended up happening. But nonetheless, there were a lot of instances in that fight where TNC probably could have gotten out, and I still think it's worth it. Definitely. A pretty huge win for them.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it was a 4 for 3, but they got buyback from the Centaur and the OD.
Yeah.
I say I'll take that trade any day, right?
Yeah, if they had not gotten the Weaver, it would have been great for TNC, but as it stands, it's still really, really good. And it's to the tune of a butterfly for gyrocopters, so again, you got some of these big items that are up on this core group of heroes, and I don't know, I still think that TNC need to get more done. And maybe now is the time to do it. TA going to blink out and get the TP away as well, so they won't find her.
All right, so seeing the fact that there's a butterfly on the map. Ooh, I was going to say Templar should probably consider that MKB, but he's going to go into a butterfly zone. All right.
Well, this is the pressure that they want to apply now onto this top lane. You do still have Call Down. You have Sanity's Eclipse again. I think it's time to party.
Rarely you see an enemy core having a butterfly and your core having to go for MKB, but they don't go for MKB.
Yeah. I'm not sure. He might not have spotted it is the other thing.
I mean, yeah, maybe. Raven is also not going for MKB. He's going for a Lincoln's.
This scan scouts out the Ogre, but he's going to be the one to break the smoke. And now going in, able to stun up Raven. They have the call down available. They stun up Bang, is still in a lot of trouble, and there's no way to save. They end up dropping the ulti as well from Stampede on top of Tibbs, but they're not going to be able to find him as of yet. Vacuum wall onto 3. They stole it back away though, so turning the wall against them, it's still not going to be enough. TNC are all over him at this point. They lose OD. 100 seconds with none from him. Oh man.
That stolen wall is great, but now the dire side ping out the mid tower. It's right next. There's a.
They found a return kill. That was a nice one. Yeah. Well played by Fly Solo.
I mean, doesn't matter though. The 2 cores are still alive. The creep wave is right in front of the tier 3 tower. I think if you're TA and your Weaver, you just run there.
Yeah.
Go.
You know that there's no buybacks too.
Exactly.
So really great display there from TNC. I think it was just a solid team fight all in all. Like, they threw a lot onto the Raven there. I don't know why the OD didn't decide to jump in and go for an Astral. Maybe it was just like, I don't know. There must have been something else going on, but I feel like that was an easy save there and then counter initiation.
Yeah, I think they expected the gyrocopter to live longer than they did, right? He's got the butterfly. He's got the 30% evasion. Yeah. The problem is with the RNG item, I don't think he got any evades. So Cuckoo just like 4-shot at him.
Yeah, or if the Stampede came out a second earlier, possibly.
I think that's the issue. The Stampede did not come out in time.
Something weird was going on there. It feels like Clutch Gamers' communication has not been as on point as we saw them in their matches leading up to this in the group stages. That was like some of the most cleanly executed team fights that we saw from them. And now, a couple days later, the pressure starts to build. You're a new-ish squad of players that maybe, haven't had the most time together. It's looking like it might be a bit tough.
I mean, all of these players have definitely a lot of competitive experience. They play on different teams before, but it's worth repeating. the clutch gamers that did so well on day 1 and day 2 kind of crumbled against Mineski in these kind of tense late game situations.
Yeah.
Mineski just kind of outfought them in the late game, and we're seeing that from TNC. Perhaps it's off individual mistakes, perhaps off team communication. Whatever the case is, TNC just got another buyback out of Clutch Gamer, this time from the Rubik. And it's not looking good for a team that honestly was on all metrics ahead, in kills and net worth.
Yeah, you look at the net worth graph, it was that slight lead up, and then the fight that ended up securing Roshan for TNC earlier,
right?
Questions about whether or not that was a possibility for them to take or not aside, that certainly was the turning point in this game for them. And now we're sort of in an awkward situation where, do you think that this lineup is going to be able to compete with a TA that's this out of control? 22,000 net worth, has the level 25 talent for +3 refraction instances. This hero is terrifying.
I think it's not really about... I think the two lineups are very similarly strong in the late game. It's about the net worth difference, right? Because one team didn't have to buy back 3 different heroes.
Yeah.
If OD, for example, has a Hex finish right now, I would say, yeah, sure. It doesn't matter if you're level 25 TA. If the OD could blink on you, Hex, and just kill you, who cares about your level 25?
Right.
The problem is, Armel does not have that Hex right now, and instead of making aggressive smoke gang, they just have to keep farming.
Another item that is going to change the complexion of these fights again is going to be the Centaur Warrunner refresher.
Yep.
So this is huge, and I think that it is something that you look at what TNC does, they blow up a single target. That gyrocopter in the top lane, if he stays alive a couple while longer, then that fight looks very, very different. So if you pop the refresher, you pop the initial Stampede, you're not afraid to do it because you can save for the second one. That's when things start to look better, but they have to come and contest Roshan, and it looks like that's what they're planning on doing.
I find Abing's item choice fairly interesting here. He's queuing up the MKB, and it looks like Roshan is going to get checked.
Do you not like it, or?
MKB against Butterfly, makes a ton of sense, right?
Yeah.
But you have double refresher ags from Centaur. So I think knowing that you're going to survive for a long time, I feel like a bigger lifesteal item might help you elongate the fight.
Okay.
So I'm actually leaning more towards Titanic, but maybe Abing feels like the team just needs more damage. So I'm not going to argue against MKB versus Butterfly, but I think there's also another opportunity to go for Titanic. I'm pretty sure he will eventually get Titanic, but interesting choice.
I think that also the idea is that if you're only going to be onto the TA, it doesn't matter if you have Satanic if you can't hit him anyways. So he does have the Morbid Mask, but I completely agree with you that particularly if they can bait out a good amount of his life going down, and then afterwards they pop the Centaur Ags and then go for the Satanic, he'll be back up to full, and it's like you get a second full fight with him.
Exactly. And they're going to try to steal Roach.
Damage on the Ogre. They're going in for it. Cuckoo, he's going to drop that trap inside. Fizz through in there as well, but they still have eyes on him to jump forward. The crush, that's the Stampede already out. BKBs are done. They're on top of the backline, so Sam H almost completely out of mana. Didn't end up having enough left over for the wall. Oh no, that was a huge, huge ulti from Armel.
Yeah, it's not just about the damage that the Sanity Eclipse can do, but the mana drain. We saw the vacuum, but there was no wall follow-up. And they just kind of ran them over. The reveal of the double Stampede. I was thinking about Stampede using defensively, but they're like, no. We're going to just run and kill you. And suddenly the MKB choice makes a lot more sense, right? If they're just thinking purely on the offense. Yeah, sure. It's all good. And that is a big clutch late game team fight.
Clutch. I like what you did there. Yeah, and also thinking about it, you've got a different way that this game is going to look now, because Clutch Gamers, they have always been on the back foot with the Aegis on TNC, and I believe that they have Cheese also off the back of that.
Yes.
Yeah, Cheese is there for the Centaur Warrunner. So every other imaginable way to keep these heroes alive, they now have.
So I think TNC really, as much as they love being aggressive, I think now's this time to, put the foot on the brake a little bit. Just wait it out, right? Or do you see an opportunity for them to go make a big smoke play or something like that?
I think that it really depends upon what they sort of see around the map. And right now their vision is very hemmed in. They need, like... I think that they can go for a pickoff play, but they can't go for a team fight. That's really what it comes down to.
And I'm pretty sure they also lost their gem in that engagement. Yeah, Ogre's got 2. And I do believe one of them was purchased by Reor, yeah. So losing the gem also is a big blow to TNC. A lot of their map control will be taken away.
Yeah, and you look at a couple more of these big items that are online at this point. You have the Ghost Scepter for Rubik after the Blink Dagger. We also have for the Darkseer, he ended up going back for the Lotus Orb. Lincoln's on Weaver with the Mjolnir. I think all in all, like, the other thing is that TA's item build, it's good for staying alive in the fights, but he doesn't do, like, the ridiculous amount of mana that scales into this point in time. Like, he didn't end up going for the Bloodthorn style instead. You know what I mean?
Yep. I mean, I think if he gets to hit the backline, he does a ton of damage, but at this point, I'm not sure whether he can go toe-to-toe versus the Gyro.
Like, look at that. Yeah, like, that was before Stampede came out.
Wait, Stampede?
I mean, he has another one if he needs to. Oh, no, he doesn't actually, but he does have to blink away.
Ooh, that was close. Are they going to keep on chasing?
I mean, I think that... I don't know if you can chase at this point anymore.
I mean, this is TNC, dude.
What are you guys doing?
I mean, they picked Fly Solo. Fly Solo got caught out, I think, warding or whatever the case was. And TNC says, I don't care you have Asians and cheese. This is a 5v4. I'm going to press my advantage here. And look at TNC. They're pushing up high ground against the team with Asians and cheese.
I mean, they know that they don't have any more Ags right now for the Centaur, so they end up taking a tier 3 tower.
That's huge. That means Shrines
That's crazy.
They get to take objective when the enemy team has Asians and cheese. I just have to repeat that.
Okay. I think that, all right, Clutch Gamers, they realize that they need to make this happen. They're going to fight around this, but it's already gone.
Yep.
So they actually can't fight. If it was actually them being able to fight around the shrine, then they could have done it because Rubik could have TP'd in, but now...
The shrine's dead.
Yeah.
In like 2 seconds. And all of this started with your 5-position support dying. People think that support doesn't matter in late game. It always matters.
Well, MKB almost completed for Raven. Gonna see what the next item build is, but Cuckoo in some trouble. He's getting that in stolen. He does have a as well if you want to drop it, but not gonna go for it there.
Now this is something that I kind of mentioned yesterday when Cuckoo was playing the OD. This particular level 25 talent is so beneficial when you get those stray hits like that.
Yeah.
And that's 20 in that's going to be sitting with the next minute or so.
And all from TA also, so now she's working with even less of it herself. Not that this hero requires a ton of mana, but...
Well, she'll need mana if she eats a Sanity.
Yeah, exactly. So, movement now towards the mid lane. You still have this heavy contingent, you know, the TA crazy far ahead in terms of net worth. Weaver really far up there as well. But all these other heroes, they're right there with them. And Clutch Gamers have had enough. They want to think about pressuring this advantage.
I mean, Aegis is running out, so... And they do have the Satanic on Gyrocopter. Ooh, Bing. Thank you for making me not look crazy when I made that suggestion.
It's a really good one. It's a great item.
He seems to agree with that. And it's really hard for TNC to go into that. Like, what do you do against a Bing with Satanic, Aegis, and 2 Centaur all backing him up?
Yeah, he doesn't care. They're all over him. Over here to the side, though, they're down on top of Reor, trying to bring him down. Stampede to follow. Sanity's eclipsed. Armel takes 2, and maybe going to be a bit more if Cuckoo cannot get out of here. So now 2 down, no buyback. Clutch Gamers all over him. We said that TNC needed to do something early. A scary moment. They're on top of him. Abang taking a ton of damage, but turns BKBs. Hana eats the cheese. There's the stun. Can they find the kill? Raven's on top of him as well, but now Armo has shown up, and Cuckoo going to be controlled and brought down.
Buyback immediately from the TA. Now Raven in a lot of trouble. He's going to pop the shrine back wall on top, but there's no disable on top of this. And Armel, he's got so much in, plus 68 right now. He's taking a ton of that damage, and he looks like he might be dropped here. The Raxas still are protected. How many kills can TNC get on the way out? Cuckoo looking for a blink in. Keep in mind, he does have the Bloodthorn, and the Bloodthorn attack coming through. Oh no, he's gonna get chainsawn completely here. He gets lifted up as well. His refraction all gone. Keep in mind, this is a buyback. Keep in mind, this is a dieback, and now Raven, the only one alive to choose.
Oh, they're buying back Armo. They want to push this.
They want to win right now.
That's satanic, though. That's save the day. Raven, what?
Just time lapse in. I think he wanted to kill or something.
Oh no. All right, well, he has buyback, but why? Wait, why did he time lapse?
I don't know, but he also don't have time lapse now for the next 30 seconds.
What? I don't understand why he just
I think
timeout
he
checked in.
expected a Bing to be much lower, and he was trying to snipe him.
All right, he has Satanic
Well.
back up again now. He's going to end up getting Astro. Oh, he was actually Satanic. That might have been enough, but still, nonetheless, you have the fly solo CM ulti going out, keeping them back for the moment. Look at this man dance.
I mean, you can't go into that. Lots of damage. Glyph's gonna come out. I'm surprised they even have the Glyph. Samage gonna respawn, but Raven, he's just too low. That's gonna be the second lane of Rax going down. Clutch Gamers, I think they should be happy with what they got, and they're gonna turn back, but Armel did buyback for this.
They're
So,
Satanicing back up for Abe.
okay, no, they're gonna stay. They want to get the triple.
I mean, TA's gone for 60. You know this.
They have back wall back.
All right,
Samage needs to make a huge play here.
all the hopes and dreams of the TNC game number 1 on the back of this little Darkseer soldier. Can he make it happen? Vacuum wall looks pretty, it looks nice, but Clutch Gamers don't give a damn.
Yep, wall in fact stolen, drops it right on top of the Weaver. That is going to be mega creeps here. Raven going to try to do what he can. That is a buyback on Armel, and he's too tanky to go down here. The rest of Clutch Gamer finally will back up.
GG, they call it. Clutch Gamers take him down in the end. All it was, we talked about it, there was multiple Aegis picked up by TNC. Granted, it was in a tough position throughout most of the game, and then they ended up finally giving one away to Clutch, and Clutch Gamers ended up taking it. A really impressive display from them. Do you think...
Reserve time. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
The big streak here. Not a big streak, but you know what I mean. Continue their one-win game, one-win streak.
It's a big streak in
That's
their
a big
hearts.
streak.
In their heart. And in the context of the series, it's pretty damn big, too, because you win 2 and you win.
They're halfway there.
Living on a prayer.
Yep. All right, we got the slaughter again.
Yeah.
Tim's.
Remaining.
So this is the interesting thing. We see the Ogre taken by Clutch first overall.
Yep.
And then TNC takes Slardar Rubik, to which Clutch Gamers respond with the Darkseer. I think that there's a lot of things going on right here. First of all, Clutch Gamers love taking Darkseer themselves, even though TNC had it last time. But TNC are going to deny the Rubik from Fly Solo, who played it oh so well last time around. But they're going to try and entrust their hearts and dreams into Tim's. Do you think this is a good decision, this trade-off?
It's not 100% that Tim's is playing the slaughter, right? Because Sam H could play in the offlane role as well.
Yeah.
So we don't exactly know what Tim's is playing. And I don't want to kind of focus too much on Tim's because, you know, everyone has off games. Everyone has off days. So let's just hope that he could kind of go forth and play well. But I do want to talk about the Rubik. I don't think it's just a block pick. As well as Fly Solo played last game, we got to keep in mind that Rior is also amazing on this hero as well. So I think TNC is kind of just drafting what they want to be playing and what they want to be picking. And this is where I want to kind of begin or framing our discussion moving forward is in the current metagame, right?
Pretty much everything that's popular. I think that probably Cuckoo's best hero is his Tinker.
Okay, we actually haven't seen too much of that at all.
No.
Yeah. Are you expecting this to be a mid Juggernaut or a safe lane Juggernaut? Because TNC was the originator of the mid Jug.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, that was when it was Teehee playing it, and I think that they've stuck with that same formula of success.
Right.
I like it, I actually think I like it more on Cuckoo, because it's a hero where he can still play that aggressive style that he likes, but you kind of have that handicaps, the training wheels, if you will, of the get out of jail free card with the Blade Fury spin TP.
Sure.
So I think that would fit them perfectly if they played it mid, and with the Disruptor taken as well, that's actually, I just really like that pick in general. That's quite good here.
Yeah, I really like Disruptor versus the Juggernaut. Now, obviously, none of your combo works if he's spinning, but a lot of times when you put a Thunder Strike on the Juggernaut, and he's trying to run away from an engagement, he likely had to spin in the first place to run away. And that means the spin is down and Glimpse is going to be a freebie in terms of get him. Disruptor just adds so much more pressure to the Juggernaut player in terms of forcing you to retreat in a timely fashion. But back to the Juggernaut, I think the beauty of Juggernaut is you pick it here. It could be a mid, it could be your safe lane. You get to kind of adapt depending on what the situation is, because he's one of the few melee heroes that actually lanes extremely well against the Darkseer.
Yeah, and I think that the other thing about him too is that you've got the ability to go aggro if you want. Like you can play him in the super high tempo, take down the towers like we saw in game number 2 of TNC versus Faceless yesterday. Or you can play the pickoff game, which is what we see here with the Nyx Assassin, and he allows you to push out lanes, Manta style, pop that, and then go for the Blade Fury, TP away. And considering we see the Nyx now, I'm kind of leaning towards it being more likely a Raven Juggernaut, and then taking something else for the mid here, just because I think that that style of play is more well-suited to Raven than Cuckoo.
You know, we haven't seen the Nyx Darkseer matchup in a long time. And I'm not saying that they're going to lane against each other, but more so that Nyx Assassin in the mid game is going to make Darkseer's life miserable, right? You are next to him, you pop your Spike Carapace, Darkseer stuns himself because he always has a Mineski on. Your mana burn does a buttload of damage to the Darkseer, and as we saw in the last game, there is various instances where Darkseers just run out of mana. Whether you get hit by Sanity's Eclipse, in this game you're going to get hit by multiple mana burn, which is going to hurt a ton. I think Darkseer is going to have a rather tough time, and he might need to adjust his item builds to kind of reflect that. He might need to go for an earlier Guardian Grease than he would normally like to.
You know, and I think that this is going to be a really interesting game to watch next. I love the idea of him picking up an early Midas and getting levels here, because if he does get a lot of levels, look at these heroes. 3 int heroes already that are great for mana burn, but you also have, like you were talking about, the setup with the Spike Carapace. So you're kind of going to want both of those, and obviously you're going to be maxing Impale first anyways. So getting the high levels on Nyx early is going to be paramount. Clutch Gamers going back for the wombo of the combo. Sven with an Ogre there to give him Bloodlust. You got Vacuum Wall, you got Disruptor. This could be pretty fireworksy.
Yeah, not only is Sven good for the combo like you're mentioning, it's also a core that will generally beat a Juggernaut 1v1. As long as Juggernaut doesn't have like 3 extra items on a Sven, you pop the Warcry, you could tank an Omni Slash. If Juggernaut's spinning at you, you just man him and hit him. So kind of historically, this is one of those heroes that just straight up quote-unquote counters a Juggernaut. Now, to be fair, Juggernaut will have Corrosive Haze aiding him, but a lot of the physical damage from the TNC side will be mitigated by that Warcry.
Yeah, and I think that like this is the perfect time where TNC would have loved to go for something like a Shadow Fiend, another hero that gives you that minus armor, but obviously that's banned out at this point. And the ways that we've seen Sven get punished heavily with a Slardar tends to be when there's either like a Dazzle or a Shadow Fiend or one of those other minus armor heroes in the pool. And if you don't have enough of it, then he can just really stand tall against that lineup. So the last pick, Alk as well. Man, I like this draft a lot.
This could be a 2-0, man.
My God.
This could be a 2-0. You know, if you want minus armor in the form of carry Venge is still in the pool, although I don't generally see TNC making picks like those.
10 seconds.
I still think that this one fits Raven more playing it the way they're going to have to play it. But now actually, with the Alk, you might need to think about switching it up and going back for like some heavy push here. I think those are your 2 options. You either fully invest in the late game, trying to draw it out as long as possible. You take something like Storm or something
I don't know if Storm's late game enough. I wouldn't say it's... I would say Storm is more for the pick plan, which...
Right, and then trying to translate that into towers as opposed to group up and push. I think those are your 2 answers here, because you can't just try and team fight this lineup.
I think I go Invoker here. I put my Invoker mid. The reason being that Nyx Assassin plus Invoker Sunstrike ganks is a very good way to tie you through the mid game. And Invoker plus Juggernaut as a combo can carry you into the late game as well. But instead, it's going to be the Tro. We've seen Team Faceless do this. He is a hero to man fight, and can he man fight the Sven, the manliest of all heroes?
Yeah,
we'll have to see.
Well, we're gonna hop into the game now.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Oh, did you? No, I didn't because
Okay.
I was thinking more back to like the Boston Major when Alk was just winning everything and my heart going out for various teams that ended up losing to it. Anyways, I could talk about Alk for a while and why the hero makes me sad, but the most important thing now is that we are into the game and we can talk a little bit about why we think this could be a really good pick. What do you have to be most concerned about, like in this game? Because they can't really run at him early either. Tim's on the Slardar has been known for making great rotations, but against an Alk, it seems unlikely to work with the Ogre most likely hanging out mid to give him a good start.
I think it's important to, because Alk 4 or 5 minutes into the game starts to duck into the jungle,
Right.
to start acid spraying the camp. I think that's where Tim's needs to strike. Now, I don't think Tim's will be able to kill him, but you just kind of stay near his vicinity, take some experience, go in, crush his camp once or twice, just to make him work for it. You don't let him have a freebie. And then, I don't think TNC has a lot of early game options. Rather, I think once the 10, 11 minute comes where you have the max healing ward, you just go. You just hit towers, hit buildings.
Yeah.
Surgically remove them one by one by one. And of course, a lot of it is also up to Sam H to contain the Alchemist and sending the Dota ganks up to his way all the time. Let's not kid ourselves. TNC needs to really, really play well, outplay Clutch Gamer, in fact, to have a shot in this game.
It is going to be Raven on the Juggernaut like we were talking about. Just seems to fit the style of game that they're going to need, and Cuckoo can be the one that goes a little bit, well, for risk of putting myself on a pun train, Cuckoo this game. And I think that the other thing to keep in mind here is that I really like the idea that you had of the Sunstrike Invoker combo, because I'm thinking like around that mid-game time when you have... Is Arma going to go for a second bounty rune here? They're giving him both of it?
Yes, he is.
Okay. That's a great way to start, and now he has a poor man's shield for lane.
But
Fine.
look at Rior's doing. Rior solo smokes himself. I think he's looking for some sort of courier snipe. He's going to put a ward behind the tower.
Oh my god. All right, well this actually
This
ends
is a
up
way to
mitigating it.
win the lane, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, he's going to see it coming. He's going to tango through, or he's going to just snipe. And what's on the courier? That's Pro-Man shield gone. 300
God.
gold. He's going to taunt on his way out.
I think that's the auto thing.
That is perfect play.
Beautiful, beautiful display there. That's what you need to have happen. So really heads up play there by TNC. This is going to give their troll a really good start in the laning phase. And now Armel, who would have had a great time here, is now going to be punished pretty heavily. And
Yep.
Boombox having some trouble as well.
You really need that Pro-Man show against Troll Warlord, because he hits actually rather hard.
So other things I was talking about is that I'm thinking if they do not end up just completely dumpstering this Alchemist in lane, which is looking like they could do, how are you going to be able to move in and actually find the kills in the jungle? Like, because Nyx alone is not going to be able to take down Armel unless he's just farming really greedily.
Yeah, I think you need to take your Slardar or your Rubik. Actually, Rubik's not even going to be enough. You definitely need Slardar or Juggernaut. So we're going to need to see Raven or Cuckoo play rather aggressively in the mid game as well. There's going to be a fine balance for TNC to strike where they need to get farm, but also stay aggressive on the map.
All right, you can see over here in the bottom lane, Hana just planning to stay within creep experience range. Well, top lane as well, we've got Sam H getting the most that he possibly can as well. He's already got boots up, so he's pretty well farmed. Both of them at level 2. And mid lane, honestly, the Alk has not been hurt that much. He's taken a lot of damage, but it hasn't really been Troll able to force him out of lane or stop him from farming.
Well, he's out of regen now, right? The courier is back up in 28 seconds, so I don't think really TNC could take advantage of the fact that he's out of regen, but they're doing a decent job. The problem comes now where the Alchemist has 2 points in Acid Spray, and I don't know what the Troll could do when he starts to spam that spell.
Yeah, a little bit of a pause coming out. Apparently there's some issue going on. Mr. Timms himself, he ended up moving down and picking up both of the bounty runes, so this is sort of the way that he's been playing this hero consistently through these qualifiers and leading up to them as well. But yeah, Armel drops it down and Cuckoo has to stand in it.
No, he's actually getting a lot of these last hit deny regardless under the tower, but that regen needs to come, and the courier is sitting behind the tier 2. He's also afraid of some sort of... Oh, in fact, is he going to go down here?
Oh my god, they dive! They kill off Cuckoo! in the mid lane. They just ran at him.
Yeah. You rarely see Cuckoo kind of die to those kind of plays, right? That was just rather careless.
I mean, here's the thing about Cuckoo is that he is a kind of unpredictable player in general, but that tends to happen late games when he's going for like the big plays.
Right.
You are usually able to count on him in the laning phase. But maybe just the tension of this game. You are one game away from elimination when some people were thinking that TNC would be a direct invite, and now facing elimination, it's a scary prospect.
All right, we're going to have the two supports smoked up. They're looking to go top, or rather maybe a wrap around mid. You said it was important to shut down Alchemist. And you see that Cuckoo is now softening up Armel a little bit.
This would be a huge kill if they're able to find it. It looks
should
like
be enough.
Armel, they just need to get within range of the lip. They go for the slow. There's the pullback. The TP is coming in from the Ogre. Not nearly going to be in time, though. And, well, stun and Cuckoo, he does find that kill.
Yep. Not only was it an Alchemist kill, it's also very important that Cuckoo got the last hit there because he needed that help. He needed to catch up. So good stuff so far. He's going to ferry out more boots. I am curious in terms of what you think about Sam H's build. He started the game with Boots of Speed, which is pretty common in the offlane situation. In fact, nice two-man Pell gets a rune, walks away. Although, might die here, Ignite and a Hasted Ogre comes in. They have the Stormhammer. They'll pop it. I think the stuns actually kind of stacked a little bit, but because of the haste runes, they should be able to pick it up.
Yeah, they Thunderstrike too, so giving a little bit of farm there over to the Ogre. I like the Sam H build by and large. I don't remember if he ended up starting with the double mango or not.
No, he didn't, because he went Brutes first. So
okay.
that was the point I was trying to make. It's like, you know, Ice always go double mango, and I'm just wondering if that perhaps would be better.
Yeah, I think that that might be. It still looks like he had a decent time in laning stage. He's actually ahead of the Darkseer in terms of farm, and maybe some of that has to do with the Slardar running around stealing bounty runes, etc. But I think that's the trade-off, right? Is that you are able to have more movement into the jungle, stealing bounty runes as Sam H, and then you end up paying for it every now and then by getting killed like that, but it's not the worst thing in the world.
Alright, so this is the phase of the game where Armel ducks in the jungle and starts acid spraying away. He goes back in late to acid spray more. It's gonna be rough here for TNC because none of the rotations are going into the jungle. They're not really slowing him down. I don't think one kill is nearly enough to stop an Alchemist, so...
Well, and like you talked about in the draft, I was expecting and actually really liking the idea that you had of an Invoker, because you think about what an Invoker could have done right now instead of Cuckoo. If Armel goes into the jungle, you have the Nyx that's there, he just pops the Spike Carapace on the Acid Spray, and then that's an easy kill over and over and over again. But
maybe not exactly right now because he doesn't have Vendetta yet, but yeah, maybe like in 2-3 minutes from now.
Exactly, and like now you've got Tim's who's going to be able to come in here and soak up some experience, but there's no chance for a kill.
No. He will drop a ward though.
Blocks out the campus, and that's something that they can do at the very least. But yeah, tough one. So 6 minutes in, Hana's going to be able to get that bounty rune. It looks like they're going to make this movement up towards picking one and see if they can find something here.
Sims might be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to have to run through the Ogre on the way out, eat the Fire Blast Ignite combo.
They have Glimpse. Tim's just out of range, and they're not going to be able to get him.
All right. Top lane, Sam H. Goes on up being a little bit, but just scares him into using a Warcry. Now, obviously, you know, you pointed out the merits of what an Invoker can do, but let's not forget Troll Warlord. Pressure's power is much better than an Invoker can. I think that's kind of the angle that TNC is taking, at least in the relatively early phase of the game. They're looking to take down these tier 1 towers very quickly and then pressure the jungle of the opposite.
Yeah. I think that that's a good way to play it. Oh, they might be able to do something here. Abang's still in the area. Rich could steal some. Maybe get the Courier Snipe. All right, they find it. That's the bottle of Armel. So something going their way there.
Yeah, that's the second time Courier dying. But looks like Tim might be in a little bit of trouble. In fact, they're thinking about coming back in. Abang's going to eat Impale. Crush is going to follow things up. They pop the Battle Trance. Look at that Nyx.
All right. Apparently, high attack speed Nyx assassin finding a kill on the spend. Not what you would have expected. This hero with 7 armor on top of him and a bunch of heroes around, but yeah, they take advantage of that situation and they end up taking him down.
Yep. Oh, the cool thing was that Cuckoo had a arcane rune when he popped the battle trance, so I was like ready to go again in case we need it.
And they're doing a good job of continuing to follow around the Elk, but there isn't that kill still that they need on him.
I think it's good enough. Again, it's not kills, but you know, you do what your lineup is capable of doing, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, just slow him down as best as you possibly can.
Meanwhile, we haven't talked a whole lot about it so far. Raven has gone 58 and 12 in his lane, currently level 7. So been sharing a good bit of that experience with other people. But he's going to be able to at least be a relevant force in these fights pretty soon as well. I imagine you just keep on farming up until maybe you get that level 2 ulti, and then you can make some rotations. Or possibly you have Nyx run into your lane and help out for a kill on the Darkseer.
Yeah, I think for Raven, he's going to just have a teleport scroll on him. If there's a fight that breaks next to his tower, he will make that port, but until then, I think getting that level is quite key. It's not just about the level 2 healing, level 2 Omni Slash, but also about maxing healing ward, because they'll need it to push against Acid Spray.
Sims, again, in position to take the Bounty Rune away and just sort of look at the Alchemist there.
As I say that, Raven is porting up top. He's only at half HP, but does have the Omni Slash available.
They spot this out, though. They see Raven moving up towards the top lane, and they are going to react. Sven is just backing out. He doesn't have a TP, though, so this is a scary moment. He's going to hide behind the tower, and we might even need to see some rotations. Does anybody else have TPs? Alk doesn't. Disruptor does. Darkseer, they're going for him. There's the initiation. They get the Impale as well. Can they get into range? Omni Slash comes out. They're not able to share the damage, and, well, Ehome just goes down. So now maybe Raven is going to be the one who could get gone on. They have the Fire Blast there, but it looks like Fly Solo did not stay in range to go for any type of glimpse play.
Yeah, even though he got scouted out, TNC making that play work is actually fairly lucky for them. Glimpse back on Sam H. Sam H does not care. He's walking straight in. The healing ward giving them the ability to dive like that. Fly Solo gets that last hit before he dies.
Yeah.
Worth, I guess. And Tim's going to pick up the kill. Now, this is the Tim's I was talking about, you know?
Yeah.
He heard the pep talk, went to the restaurant I recommended, got some rice. That's why they needed the 10-minute break in between, you know?
Yeah, we need to get our rice, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, you've got yourself a Slardar almost level 6. There is a rotation down towards the bottom lane with a Vendetta up. Ooh,
Kana's dead.
And Spike might be able to go for it. Yep, goes for the initiation. There's the Impale. He's out of there. And Ahome can't believe it. Maybe going to be able to do something to Sam H here. He has the Iron Shell on him. Chase is going to continue. The movement speed, but can they get him? No! They caught the lift up there. Rio are on top of him. The crush to follow, and Ahome needs to be careful.
Ogre is coming in as well. There's going to be a Storm Hammer. They have Impaled. They will Impale up on a Bing. A Bing's going to get slowed down. He's going to get crushed again. One more right click, and it looks like Tim's going to pick up a killing spree. And now Ogre is in a lot of trouble as well. They're going to get him as well.
All right.
TNC.
That was absurd. The Iron Shell did so much damage in that fight, but they just couldn't find kill. Beautiful fight by TNC. Dodge away from that. They ended up doing almost more damage. About as damage as the Sven in that engagement.
Yep. Now the big question is that enough? All of those kills were nice. It's not on the Alchemist. Alchemist, if you look at his current net worth, he is more than halfway to the Sacred Relic. He is unimpeded when it comes to farm. He's stacking for himself. It's looking scary, man.
Yeah. I think that you've taken down one tier 1 tower. You're about to get another one here, but it does not feel like it has been enough yet to really put the screws to Clutch Gamers. If they can keep up this pressure, it's solid, but it's a constant battle. And, well, now they've been able to find Hana, the rotation in. Now maybe TNC in a little bit of trouble. They do have a glimpse if they want to use it, but
they don't want to fight next to a shrine to kind of force that kind of play. Now, some would say that the Radiant team is doing enough, because if you look at the net worth, Alchemist is not that far ahead of the kind of the Radiant cores, and as an Alchemist player, you need to be very far ahead. So on that metric, I think TNC is doing quite okay. But on the other metric is that Armel is, you know, gonna be very, very far ahead relatively soon once the Relic gets picked up.
All right. So Disruptor. Oh, they break the smoke on that. That's unfortunate. Abeng is right there on top of him. Tim's is on the high ground. Crush onto 3. Can they find any more? Impale off the mark. Static Storm onto Cuckoo. He's controlled for the moment, but Raven has gone in now, and well, that's going to end up being a dead Ogre. Maybe they can find a kill on a Cuckoo, but it's not enough damage. And now they're going to be able to go into Roshan and should be able to secure this quite easily.
Yeah, Static Storm dropping, also not hitting too much, so I guess TNC could have really gotten more, but the Nyx Assassin by Samage. A rare miss, but this is kind of the game plan for TNC, right? We said that they need to be aggressive, they need to take objectives, and that's exactly what they do.
Now the TP down here bottom. If they could find this kill onto Armel, it would be a great display from them. They are going in. There's the crush onto Armel. They still have Hana in the area. No mechanism at this point, but they're on top of him. They glimpse away the troll. This is the fight that they want to take now, but no glimpse to pull Tim's back in. Samage still under tower. Can they find this kill? He ends up going for the self-stun, and, well, that's the vacuum to interrupt the impale from Samage. Good play there as well. Armel so low, needs to arm with toggle. The stun is enough, though, and they do manage to bring down Tim's, but it's at a big old cost, and Raven taking down another fly solo to fall.
Tro is back in the fight right now. He does not have this slow access just yet, but Raven's also in the fight. He's looking for the spin. Boomback is trying his best to juke, and there is no juking that one. And now on the right side, Stormhammer does go onto the Tro, but Cuckoo is going to win that man fight. And all of a sudden, that was a 4-for-1 exchange with them fighting a lot of the fight, like what, 4v5? Because Tro got sent back and all that jazz.
Yeah. And now they've clearly done enough. 7,500 net worth lead, 7,500 experience lead. Roche down, tier 1 down as well.
Oh, tier 2 is going down too.
Yeah,
if you're TNC, you're not
this.
stopping.
I think that you've got Ion Shells with the Darks here to try and push these waves out on the sides. That way he could just defend one wave. But this wave is going to go down.
Oh, that battle trend, making it look so easy. And you know, this is where the Troll Warlord looks much better than Invoker, right?
Oh yeah.
You're just taking towers left and right. It looks like the fight's not over yet. Hana gonna get caught here. Tim's heard the words, man. Look at him this game. He's 5-1 and 4 as a support Slaughter. He's gonna amp a fly solo. He says, "I see you, bro," and there's nowhere for you to run.
Yeah, it's a rough life indeed for that Disruptor, who does end up falling. I mean, Alchemist, the game plan hasn't changed for him. Farm, farm, farm. But I think that Clutch Gamers are definitely hurting at this stage. And
I mean, right now, I'm not sure it's farm, farm, farm. Clutch Gamers, feed, because TNC's over them. And that's going to be another tier 2.
Yeah. I think that Armel is dead now, though, as well.
Yep.
The Nyx Assassin here. There's the Impale. Right clicks. Armlet Toggle got off. Trying to run away from this. Gets the stun. Another Armlet Toggle. Any way out of this? Okay. Armlet Toggle. Armlet Toggle. Armlet.
You know, the funny thing is that both Cuckoo and Raven rotate up top instead of taking that tier 2, which is rightfully theirs.
Yeah.
They didn't get the Alchemist. They didn't get the tier 2, so a lot of space creation for himself, Mr. Armel.
That was a pretty funny one. And that was big, because he didn't have the Courier in range to get the Radiance either. He never doubted for a second. He didn't buy the recipe out, even. So this is going to be the Relic, and only about, I think, like 900, a little bit of gold away from the Radiance.
Still, a 10,000 gold lead, though, for TNC.
Yeah.
Outer tower is being surgically removed.
I don't know if they can ever feel completely comfortable in this game because of how good the team fight is from Clutch, but they're clearly in a much more dominant position. And if they play it right, if they play it safe, they'll be fine. You know what I mean? They're in quite a substantial lead, but they can't get too complacent.
Yeah, I hear you. There's the danger where if you just lose one team fight to the Alchemist, that 10k net worth lead you have evaporates.
Definitely.
Because Alchemist could get the map so much and so quickly. Now the other thing that they have going for them is we see a Nyx Assassin gonna find himself Fly Soul. I don't know why Fly Soul was there on some warding mission.
Yeah, he got this one mid and they ping it out immediately where it is, so.
But as I was saying, the other thing that TNC has going for them is that this Sven is super poor.
Right. Yeah, he has been hampered. He is a support Sven at this stage of the game.
Yep.
We also have Rubik, who stole Bloodlust. So now if you didn't have enough attack speed before, you're going to continue to have more. And was that a gem? Who picked up the gem?
That was Rubik.
Okay. Slaughter has a Midas to try and secure the late game. I don't know if I completely love that one. We've been seeing like a lot of Midases that get picked up by teams that are like really far in the lead. And I feel like Clutch Gamers, if they do manage, like you kind of want to build items that are going to allow you to take fights more effectively, right?
Yes and no. I think for Slaughter, it's a very interesting case So let's say he didn't buy the Midas, right? He will have something like a Force Staff, which, yes, will help him initiate and then kind of transition from fight to fight a lot better. But for Slaughter, if he gets to level 18 for that max Corrosive Haze, that's a big part of them winning fights and killing the Alchemist. So I'm okay with them actually getting this. And of course, it secures them more late game farm as well.
Yeah.
But the level 18 is so ultra important against the Warcry, against the Alchemist, that I think this is actually the best item that he could have brought.
Okay. They also saw the Nyx Assassin pick it up also, which we were talking about. Getting more points in this mana burn against this high-int lineup, the exception of Sven and the Alk, obviously, is really great because we've been seeing these supports just evaporate in the team fights, and that's going to continue to happen. We do have the Blink Dagger on the Darkseer. Ended up going for that before the mechanism, even realizing how important that high ground hold was. And I think that in spite of the fact that they're so far behind, TNC is making the right move by not trying to pressure too far.
They're respecting the high ground. They understand that it's so hard to break a high ground, which involves a Blink Vacuum and a Blink Sven stun. Well, or soon to be a Blink Sven stun, as he has the Blink Dagger queued up. You can't, again, just lose a game on that high ground.
Yeah, and then Static Storm on top of it as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, there aren't any BKBs on this lineup yet, are there? Yeah, Troll is building into his, so I think that waiting for that is really much the correct decision.
Yes, Armel is continuing to get farm with 3v3 bonus, but it's a different level of farm, right? Like, a normal Alchemist is on your tier 2s at the bottom right now, like, split pushing the whole map.
Yeah, they've been inside their base for the past, like, 4 minutes.
TNC is completely fine giving Armel one wave every 30 seconds.
And Armel is not completely fine with that. He's rather upset, as a matter of fact. Look at him. He's full of rage.
These Dota puns, man.
You gotta keep up with it.
Our Dota dat jokes.
Great. TNC. And they do eventually go for that high ground push. What do you think it's going to look like for them? Is it the Juggernaut Blade Furying on the top of the map, or right there on top of the high ground, or do you think it's Troll Warlord and Axis form? He didn't go for the Dragonlance build this time on Troll. Instead, we're seeing the Sanji Nyasha picked up.
So I think it's going to come in two forms. Either they get a pick, which is an invitation to a push. That's kind of the easy way that TNC could break the high ground. Or TNC is going to finish some big items like a BKB on Cuckoo, get an Aegis, and then go. So I think we're going to at least have to wait till the Roche spawn.
Okay. And if you are Clutch Gamers, do you go and try and defend the Aegis at all? Do you just wait high ground?
I mean, they have the team fight to actually perhaps make a fight at the Aegis. That kind of depends on whether the blink is done on Sven by then. It looks like it will be done. Yeah. So I think it's up to them. I think they have what it takes to take a fight at the Roche spawn. The problem is that they are doing it blind. Look at the vision near Roche.
Yeah.
There is none.
Well, there's none for either team, which is the plus side.
That's, I mean, more of a plus for Clutch, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, they are smoked up right now.
All right, they realize that Roche could be up, and it actually is like an instant spawn there as well. So they're going to go and try and find a pick off. If they could pick somebody off here, this is a huge moment for them. And Alchemist is showing in lanes they're expecting nothing to really be wrong. Tims might end up breaking the smoke here. Boombox runs into him. Oh, the nice reactions.
He gets glimpsed back here, but that's not exactly a dangerous territory. So smoke gets broken.
They have another one. They have another one on Disruptor, so they could go again.
But here's the thing. Boomback is amped.
Yeah.
So even if you smoke, they will have vision of you still.
God, Tims, that was such a good play. He blinks out and gets the amp on him. That's like the perfect situation for that for TNC and that smoke.
Yep. So I believe the courier of the Radiant side just got microed on top of the Roshan, so they would have seen it. And there's a double damage just waiting outside, man.
Yeah, I think that if you are Clutch, you do kind of want to go into this, though, because if you are holding your high ground, it only gets harder when you don't have the...
Why is nobody taking that DD? It's running out soon. Okay.
There you go. All right, they're going to get it. And moving in for this area. They need to get here quickly. Clutch Gamers, they decide that they can't go for it.
They are correct.
I don't know, it's tough, because now you have to fight into an Aegis, which is the scary side.
Now, again, the high ground defense is quite nice. They got the acid spray for a little bit of a kind of weakening you up, softening you up, and then they got the big combo. The problem with that combo is you got one try at it, one opportunity.
And you also have a 7,200 net worth spend. He has level 2 ulti. That's something. It's something.
He's got a blink.
Yeah.
He can combo. In fact, they could do the wobble combo.
What? Oh, Courier. What was on that one? That was the Manta style. Oh, that really hurts.
How many times did the Courier die this game? 3, 4 times?
Something like that. Well, bottom lane is where it looks like the pressure is going to come, and Cuckoo is already there, DD in hand, trying to hit now onto the base, trying to drop low. They steal Acid Spray as well. Rior has just been playing this game beautifully, and Kinetic Field, Disruption as well. Cuckoo, they're dropping a lot onto this guy, and he still has Aegis. They pull back in onto Armwell. He evaporates in an instant.
Corrosive Haze, man. Make him look like paper. BKB did get activated, but, you know, the Rex is going to go down. Obviously, no buyback, though, from the Alchemist because he's putting it all into his items.
Oh, another big crush there. Can they find any more? Fly solo. They get the Disruptor ulti, the vacuum. It's pretty good. The Spanish could be able to take down Cuckoo maybe as well. All right, that was what they needed, but 4 are still dead, and it's not going to be good enough. That was...
on a barely surges away. Tims wants to kill, but... I mean, honestly, TNC didn't even have to make that play. Like, they kind of handed 3 kills on a silver platter to Clutch, but they just had so much net worth advantage that it didn't even matter.
I mean, it looked pretty there, and you saw the potential from Clutch Gamers, but with Alk already dead at the start of the fight, no buyback possibility, they just have too much. Yeah. It's pretty sick, though.
I mean, HP bar was dropping. Considering that they were down so much, it looks okay. They're trying to spend up here Cuckoo. Cuckoo will probably get glimpsed back.
It's about the most you could hope for, is what we'll say about it.
Oh, that looked really cool. That actually just followed him.
Yeah.
So, 2 lanes of Rex. TNC will reset, buy some new items, get the waves pushed back in, because Alchemist will inevitably push it out.
Very impressive display from TNC. I think after that last game in particular, they were like, all right, we need to get ourselves back together. Let's go for the tried and true and tested strategy. We'll build this draft where we just take down lane after lane after lane after lane. And they made it work. I think that this is it's going to be hard for Clutch Gamers to come back. They do still have the heroes that allow you to make that type of a comeback. But it needs to be perfect from here on out.
Yeah, Cuckoo has a double damage again.
What the hell?
All right. I mean, that it pays to check the roots.
How does he keep getting these?
All right, smoked up. I think they're just going for the juggler here. Like, if they just get any kill.
Yeah, and it's only 15 seconds until Alka would have his Manta style. So if they can get this on Armel, possibly that helps you enough in the fight. Like that last fight, you also didn't have the Manta.
There's some deep stuff. Boom back. Are they jumping on him?
Yeah, they stun the Alk, but he is very far back. Cuckoo is just going to go in, take this down. This isn't the end of the world for them, but like they can still take this fight.
Cuckoo just runs into it's not Aegis anymore. He stops the BKB and will win the match by stolen God Strength. They use up the Alk, they will stun up the Alk, and his HP bar is dropping fast. Will Manta needs to armor toggle this. No, the armor toggle didn't do this one. The Purge on a Bing slowing him down. He did drop the stun here on Cuckoo, but it's not going to be enough. Opping will lose the man fight barely, and that just should be enough.
Yeah. Very clean play, very clean game from TNC, and they are going to take number 2, 23-5. Again, there was always a chance for a comeback, but it was going to need to come back big time as TNC won that early stages. And Lumi, after the first couple of games, it felt like Clutch, they